Dr. Clay Evans was so special. To the set man of this house, Bishop Smith, we love you. We thank God for you. Dr. Jenkins, Dr. Sharp, and to the fellowship family, and to the Evans family fellowship. I love you, all of you today. I am here, and could I just tell you, because some of you may not know, this man of God actually took me to the next level when I was 24 years old, when I started pastoring. I was wrestling because I was becoming a pastor, but I was already a singer. And people were making me upset because when I would go to preach, they'd be calling out, sing that song, sing that song. So I said, I ain't singing no more. Until I ran into Dr. Clay Evans. He said, boy, you better keep on singing. You better keep on singing. If God called you to sing, you can preach and sing. So I had a role model because he was a preacher and he was a singer. And even many years later, he would tell me, because I was going to stop singing, he'd say, now where's my royalty check? But I thank God for this man of God, the impact that he had on my life. I will close with this today. One of the most devastating times in my life was Hurricane Katrina in 2005. We were able to go back to the city of New Orleans, but many of the places that I went to, I could go no more. I wanted to go to my favorite restaurant, to my favorite clothing store, but many times I would drive up and it would say, closed. Closed. I couldn't believe it. This is where I love to eat. Why would you close this restaurant? And I had to get out of the car. And I would look sometimes, and underneath the closed sign, it would say, out of business. And I would get depressed. But then other times, I'd go to some other places. I got to try this other place. I got to try one of my other favorite places. And I would go there with the same kind of sign, closed. Then I would get out of the car and see another writing underneath, and it would say, moved to a new location. I started shouting because even though it was closed, moved to a new location. I'm here to tell you, Dr. Clay Evans, he closed down here, but he's moved to a new location. And I'm here to tell you, I'm on my way to that new location. And don't be surprised in the new location. When you get to the new location, you just may hear a voice. You just may hear a voice there. Whoa, fellowship.
Minister Paul Boyd, come on, give it up for the one and only. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege at this time to bring to you the mayor of the city of Chicago, the Honorable Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Come on, give it up for her.
Thank you, everyone. I want to thank everyone who is gathered here today. We are gathered to honor a civil rights pioneer, a gospel legend, a loving father of 5 children, and a legendary pastor. Reverend Clay Evans often told us it is no secret what God can do. And his life was proof of that. On this dais, in this house of God, all the parts of our faith community, our diaspora, the various ways in which we worship and humble ourselves to the Lord above are gathered here. United in our reverence for a life well lived. We are here, of course, to honor God, but we are brought together by his servant, Clay Evans. Chicago is stronger, we are better, because of a young man from Brownsville who built his ministry as a beacon of hope in Bronzeville, Chicago, and dedicated his life's work to everyone who gathers here and everyone who calls Chicago his home. Since the news of his passing, I have heard from a number of people who claim him as the reason for why their life has become one of substance, of measure. And that speaks well to this man who the Lord has called home. As mayor of the city, I'm deeply grateful that Reverend Evans entrusted the Chicago Public Library system with his archive, so it will remain as a legend and be available for people to know about his great work. It's a way for all of us in future generations to be inspired by the grace and the way in which he lived his life, a grace that was captured through the examples of his life. And we must all strive to emulate that grace. In thinking about my words today, I was drawn to a particular verse in Hebrews chapter 13, verse 7, which reads, "Remember your leaders, those who spoke to you of the word of God. Consider the outcome of the way of their lives and imitate their faith." Now, there's much that's been written about who the author of Hebrews letters were in chapter 13, but the intent is clear. It's encouraging Christians to be reverent in their faith in spite of persecution, in spite of hardships. And that is the essence of Reverend Clay Evans' ministry. We must remember the life that he led and imitate him in all things because of the way in which he touched so many people in our community, and his ministry will live on even though God has called him home. God has welcomed Reverend Evans home, and may he continue to uplift and guide us and bless the great city of Chicago. Thank you.